One more, just tell us.
Okay, we are planning to have a reception for the Avalon show, and most like hopefully will be in September 2nd or 3rd. But we will confirm as when I get the confirmation. Yes.
Thank you. Sorry.
That is okay. I would like to have a present for the members because most of us had trouble selling our work. We had to advertise, and I have advertising in my car. I have bumper sticker. I make bumper sticker for the board and the members.
What is it called?
Bumper stickers that they are very appealing. It says, support your local fine art artists. We bring beauty to your home and happiness to your life. And I will give one to you because he's a new member. And
Thank you.
are you a member? Yes. Good. Who else? What's your name of the member?
Remember?
You're not a member? Okay. These are Scotch guarded and sun guarded also. That means they are a little funny to open. You have to look for a little bit of sharpness. It could be a lot of times. But I have like my keyboard and my CEO. I have a little knife like that.
Oh, nice. Don't mess with hope.
No. In two bank brokers and all those and you name it. Okay. Here you go. I have 13 brokers. 8 of them I hired yesterday.
Oh, wow.
It's the only
Thank you. Number of subscriptions for like Avalon ever.
I have 6.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so pretty much everybody had 4, 3, like pretty much everybody had 4, a few of them had 3, but we had the record number.
I have
So that's updating for Avalon.
Good.
Yeah.
I have one member who's gonna be probably coming in a little while because I told him that I would be in at 7 to 6. But well, it's okay. He is a violinist and we're gonna have back in the he has a table for them.
Good.
Wow.
We need music for
Yeah,
that.
six. Thank you. You're welcome. I love you. Want to You're not a member?
I am, I would.
You're not a member?
Well, yeah, I do most,
I'll be sure. Okay.
but I appreciate it.
Okay. Okay. Did I miss anybody? Did I miss anybody? Okay, now you can give you the rest. That's our church and pass it to this.
Absolutely. Thank you.
They are, nobody wanted to do because I do a bigger one, but they inherited these are the best, and I have so many for you too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. This is the one, over. And the rest of the band is gonna come over, maybe next week. Okay. Some of my, the persons that I invite probably will come in a little while because I told it's by 7, but well, this was okay. I just wanted to do a little introduction of what I do, but before of that, I want to thank God and the universe to have me here alive, because this is a story, and this is a thing that happens to me. I used to navigate in a little boat in Cuba, and I used to sail, and I used to do a lot of fun things with my boat because I used to do very romantic trip, a moonlight. I learned that when I was a child, and because my father was in love with the sea, and so do I. He transferred that to me, and it's a good thing that I remember how I escaped from Cuba once in a boat like this. Uh, we've been trapped in Cuba because it's an island by communist people who changed our life totally. And I don't want to talk about politics too much because I am an artist, not a person who hold problems with politics. But in our experience, we had many, many good things that we could remember. And I remember so many times that I sailed in my boat, and so many times that we have in the Gulf, and so many times that we had spent summers, because then there was not fiberglass boats like they are today, or yachts that they are today. They were just wood, and we had to varnish every 2 years or every 3 years, and that was our shore when we've been growing up. Varnish the whole scene, sanded first and varnish after that. But when communists came, our life turned around and our life totally changed in another different direction. Um, Most of us, we've been persecuted. I've been into bumping and shooting and all of that. And that's why I enjoy so much being alive and so much being over here. I thank the Lord to be here every single April 27. I kiss the ground of the United States because you guys don't know what freedom means until you lose it. And I hope that you never have to lose it like I did. And I escaped in Cuba from this boat. And I escaped with third person. And the Coast Guard caught us because it's a mile from the coast to the international waters. And it got us before we reached the line. And it was a fun thing to find out that we could swim within a mile from the coast with sharks and bullets. But we did. And finally, we had to hide for a whole year to don't be caught, because if they caught us, because we became enemies of the communist people, we became totally outlaws in their eyes. But in our eyes, we wanted to be free. We don't want to be in that situation. And was a very beautiful experience for me, because there is where I belong, where I discovered how resilient we could be, how human beings are so absolutely fabulous to learn how to not only preserve what we consider our life, preserve what we consider our beliefs. And if you believe in freedom, if you believe in you have the power to do whatever you want and not be subjected to other people's rules, it's totally different story. And there is where I discovered how important it is to have to be together, and how important it is to have the power and the I would say the intention, or the I would say the you have to forgive me if I am a little bit sometimes emotional, because when I remember those times, I remember there was a learning process, and learning process give us the assurance of what we could do, because sometimes even life tests us and put us into challenges, and if we are collected enough and strong enough to go to those challenges and find the answers of the challenges, we learn a lot. And that's what today, to me, anything is totally solvable, because I have a motto that every problem in life have a solution. And that's why I have other careers besides art. I have used art as a therapy, but also is my heart. All of us who are artists, it's like something more intense within us to get us to enjoy the beauty of life, the beauty of nature, the beauty of the animals and the flowers and everything. Even the ugly person, he have a beauty. And I have a painting of a very, very ugly person. And I saw it beautiful because it's the way that we train our eyes to see the beauty in everything. And maybe because I am a very optimistic person, and I'm very um, not only optimistic, I think I had one of those um, ways to enjoy whatever is beautiful, whatever is romantic, whatever is inspiring. And I've been inspired of so many gorgeous things that I love to paint. And but also I love to discover other things because I am a very curious person. I have done a lot of research, a lot of training in my own person with art and all the careers that I had. And to me have been one of the most absolutely fabulous things to discover that art have been the motivation of getting us to be better person, better human being, better inspire other people. I inspire my student. In some of them, I had to reinforce their self-esteem to get them out and show that yes, that they do have the ability to create scene. And that's why I discovered that there is many ways that a teacher could be a better teacher. Because if we experience it on our own, we know how our students feel, and we know how to guide them to get out of this problem that they have with their own self-esteem and their own thinking that they cannot do anything. And we could get out of there, take it by the hand and get it out, and showing that yes, that they do have the ability to do things. And that's what I've been doing with my students. Yes.
So how long have you been working with the coffee, and what other things do you have?
Okay. I've been doing experiments for about 10 years with different things. And one of them, more than 10 years, because it came also when I was a teenager. I've been hired by, I had 3 doctors in my family, and they have a clinic, and they hired me when I was 16 or 14 or 15. But because I was so young, they didn't give me a job during the daytime. They gave me a job in the from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, what we call over here the graveyard job. And I was so bored because there was nothing there to do, no, very little work to do. I started experimenting with medicine. I have pain with vitamin C. I have pain with many different medication. There is one for the tonsillitis that is absolutely fabulous, called violet. And I have another violet over here that I brought that is totally unique also. I have pain with another topic that we use uh, um, to cure fungus in the toes. And it's a beautiful blue. And when the oldest of my cousin, he was the owner of the clinic, he found out that I was doing paintings during my shift. He wanted to fire me. But when he saw my paintings, he said, well, I am mad because you've been doing this, but because you are so bored that there's not too much to do at this time in the day, the night. I'm going to forgive you. And they put my paintings in the walls over there. And I was thrilled because I was 15, very naive and very young. And it was thrilled that they find out that I was maybe not too bad as an artist, but I find something to motivate other person. And after that, my students have pain with medicine. Now I'm experimenting with parsley and other things for having a good green. Because today I did another green with acrylics because I couldn't guarantee that it will last. And it's a fun thing. I love to do things unique or experiment that is just doing something similar that she was telling me. And it's fun to do this because in the past, our masters artists, they used to do their own paintings. They didn't have what we have right now, the benefit of going to the store and buy a tube of paint or a color in liquid. I've been scared to this when I began to experiment with airbrushing. I mastered airbrushing because maybe I am a little bit, don't call it a stubborn, but call it there is a word for that, consistent. I am very consistent. When I wanted to discover something, when I wanted to try something, I do it until I got it. And for many, many years, I have been painting. There is another thing that I have been painting with beets. Beets have a beautiful violet color, and it's one of my favorite. Lemon, believe it or not, lemon has a beautiful color also. And orange, the really orange juice, you could use it as a painting. It's just you have to mix it with 1 drop of or alcohol, or maybe Clorox diluted, to do not allow them to dissolve or get rotten or get spoiled. And I had done many experimentation along my years. Many years ago, I did have a company painting fabric for upholstery and interior designers. And I had an idea that nobody thought about it until I saw a bunch of drapers, and they didn't know that it was the common cold. One doctor was the one who discovered that, because he knew that it was the common cold virus. If you see the virus in one, forgot the name in English, microscope. Viruses are beautiful, let me tell you. Him is one of the person that I admire profoundly. He's a survivor of AIDS and cancer. And he showed me the cancer that he survived with. And it's totally gorgeous. I'm encouraging to paint that because it's really pretty. It's dangerous and it's caused death, but he survived. And if I'm not saying that everybody should do this, but if you wanted to do it, I encourage you to use your imagination, to use your intellect to find out, because what I do is every time that I paint something, I look for a history of whatever I'm painting, or look for a motive. Maybe because I am a science teacher, I am kind of a little scientific and look for the roots of everything. But if you do experimentation by yourself, if you do things that it gets to your heart, please do it. Don't be bashful. Don't be frightened. Try to experiment, and you will see that if you fail one, you could go in and you get it. And that's what I've been doing. Sometimes I haven't been too successful, but I ended up being successful. Yes.
So the picture that you're going to be showing us, this is from your traveling from Cuba here, right?
Yeah. The sample is over here, but I made it a little bit more sophisticated. This is coffee. The ground over here is coffee, and I'm going to be using coffee, American and Cuban, both. Because this is something that is unique, but I love to experiment. And it does have different brand of coffee, have different results also. And if you want to find out, I want to explain how I do my palette here. The rest of the yellow thing is curcumin, and curcumin is very good for the inflammation. It's good for the joint, destroy the synovial when they get crystallized. And the red is paprika, and I mixed paprika. I got a paprika that was not too red, and I mixed it with a little bit of ketchup, and it works. And it works really good. That's why I said this is a fun way to learn how to paint in another way. Yes.
We cannot wait to see.
Okay.
Well, I have a
Okay, I have one question over there. Yes.
So it's actually working on a series with mixed media with shea butter and with coffee. So, but mine's drip. So I was wondering how are you grinding up coffee grounds?
I bought this one is a very expensive coffee, because I then with cheap coffee and a little bit more expensive to see how they react and how they look when I dilute it.
Grind the coffee?
I grind the coffee and I use the grind and I use the coffee. And I later on, before I drink it to see if it tastes good, but I grind it and I just also do different cooking because to get it in paper, sometimes you have to have a consistency. You could use it as a wet to wet in watercolor, but you could use it also to, for example, this one is going to be a mixed media, and I'm not using watercolor paper. I'm using acrylic paper because I'm going to use some mix them up. I used both, and I had done experimentation with both. I had done experimentation with other type of paper. I work in silks, which is one of my specialty, and I was about to bring today my silk painting, but maybe we will have a chance to do it in another session because I am not an artist. I never had studied art in my life. I am a self-taught artist. But what it is one of my career is hypnotherapy. And in hypnosis, I've been find out my previous life, and in my previous life, I was an artist. Yes.
Can I take that picture and pass it around so people can see?
Sure.
And,
Let me tell you this. I'm gonna take this, but you smell it because it smells delicious. It does.
Would you feel it? Do you put like acrylic glue or would you?
No, it's not.
Not sealing?
No seal. No seal.
So you don't have to feel it when you use the coffee, you don't have to.
No, on purpose, I don't seal it because otherwise it wouldn't smell. And it smells delicious. Here I was teaching in 2019. I was teaching in the art center, in the senior center that they call activity center, and the director have a painting of me that I did with coffee all over, and she was totally delighted because it still smelling. I went about 6 months after and it's still smelling good. I've been experimenting with perfumes also, and it does. It's good to have a painting that it smells good. Why not? And I did that too. I had done a very weird thing that people consider weird, but up to me, they're not. It's just my imagination gave me to experiment with other things that they are unusual, and people find it maybe they find it peculiar, but people love it. I sold in Sedona, Arizona. I sold a lot of coffee painting over there, and I'm going to do when we have our own building. I am so happy that we're going to have our own building because I'm going to bring not only that, I'm going to bring my silk paintings. I discovered that I was an artist. I was a Chinese, and I discovered.
Can you start painting?
I'm going
You
to.
only have so much time and I would
I'm
like
going
to
to.
know how to paint.
Okay, I'm going to. But one more second. In this case, still painting is one of the other things that I would like to teach. And if you wanted, I don't want it to discourage anybody who wanted to ask questions later, because I have a ton of information for still painting also. And I was about to bring all my what we call wearable art that I have done in the past that I'm going to start doing it again. And this wearable art is our best selling because we could wear a dress or a blouse or whatever, and we sign it. And I had done that. And people, when you go any place, people ask what you're doing, who paint that. And it's a good way to advertise it to a point, but we look very presentable and very pretty. But okay, in any time after I finish, because I'm going to tell really quick right now. This is going to be quick, not too. If everybody wants us to have any information, let me know, because there is a process to cook the coffee. It's a process to filter, and many things that I would like to explain after that. And let me just begin. This is Cuban coffee. No, this is American coffee. And I'm going to find my Cuban coffee. Here we go. I'm going to do wet to wet, which is very easy to do. Because I was a Chinese, I feel very comfortable with Chinese brush. And I'm sorry. Chinese brushes, to me, they're very, very, very easy to work with. And I have a collection of Chinese brushes, and I'm going to begin the ground coffee. If anybody have any question, I have the just for the one who are a little bit more curious, I have the legitimate um, um, paprika, smoked paprika. This smells also delicious. Let me tell you, it tastes great. Okay, I'm going to use. You're filming now. This is the ground, and I'm mixing up the Cuban coffee with the American coffee, because both have different. As you see, they have different tones.
Can we circle around them so we can see?
Can you see it?
Oh, sorry.
Can you see it?
You can.
Okay. I'm mixing up both. This is an Spanglish painting.
Are you just using water or is there a different? Coffee with water?
It is coffee.
Oh, it's coffee.
It's coffee, very light. I have very light coffee for the American coffee, because American coffee is not so strong like a Cuban coffee is. We do demitases, which is very little, and I'm mixing up both of them.
So it's great coffee.
It's delicious. I love both.
Hey, the difference, you know? No, everybody's fair. My water just come by.
Okay, I don't mind to paint in top of the grass also, because the grass is going to be in another. But I'm going to discover the color for the grass next. I'm doing some experimentation with cilantro. Cilantro is giving me a very good color, but I have to find out the way that cilantro will be good smelly, but it will be preserved.
Well, what can you use for your green? Is besides the.
In here, I use markers for the green, because I haven't discovered. I'm testing right now my cilantro and my parsley. For the one who are over here and doesn't know me, I am a serious painting, and I paint in 7 different media. But this is fun for me. I love to do this. I got very good markers, but I also mix very cheap acrylic colors. Sometimes I use watercolor and mix the three of them, but this guy is totally unique. As you can see, I mix most of them.
Do you ever have issues with certain mixes that have sugar in it, fermenting?
No, if you have
wine or anything?
no, if you mix sugar, I had, and the sugar it doesn't. I have experiment with sugar also with because I don't use sugar myself. I use honey. I experiment with honey, and honey get a gorgeous color of brown. It's beautiful color.
So it doesn't ferment or cause mold or anything?
But that's what I'm experimenting, because the sugar, yes, the sugar will get moldy.
Well, actually, I can say something, the honey will preserve.
The honey, yes.
So actually, it's a good thing to have some honey in there.
Yes, the honey.
You want to be more archival. Yeah.
Oh, like mixing with the paints and stuff like that, or?
Well, when you make the watercolors, you have to put the gum arabic in as a binder.
Yeah.
But also you can put some honey in.
Not only that, honey is the most absolutely beautiful. I am a very natural, I am very holistic, and in my clients, I recommend all the holistic thing. Honey is one of the best antibiotics that exists. and it's natural. It doesn't have any side effect, and it's absolutely delicious. Garlic. I have pain with garlic too because I am a garlic lover. Okay. I kind of let it dry a little bit to put the ground on it. In between, I'm going to do the other part over here. And to make it a little bit more dramatic, I'm using Cuban coffee again. I find out there is another coffee that is not Cuban, that is um, from the Middle East that I got, and it had a heck of a good color. I love it. Turkish coffee, that's the one. Yeah. I have some rocks over here, but I don't want to paint the rocks to brown. I got to put a little bit to make it like a semi-grayish brown, because that's what the coast rocks are. Okay, I'm gonna let it dry a little bit, but the parts that are dry already, I'm going to start doing the ground. I hope that you have fun with this, because I do. I absolutely adore doing this. This is ground coffee, and it makes it's Cuban. This is a totally bilingual coffee. I forgot to do one thing before that.
Oh, boosting.
I had to try this one because I make another one today, but it didn't come out good. I make a kind of glue that is homemade with flour, but it didn't come out good. I didn't have a time to do many things today.
Do you leave the ground?
I'm using just a stick of glue to glue the ground. And now comes the middle part. It will stick. I don't know if you guys have paint with finger painting. Sometimes I do that too. I do finger painting in one minute. See, this is easier for big. I told you that I am totally different. This is going out of the box totally. Okay. As soon as it dries, the excess I will take it off, because if you saw there, it's still there. But when it's like that, when you do it, you have to let it dry for a little bit. And sometimes if it doesn't stick, you have to force it a little bit. And that's what I'm doing right now. Because if I have more time, I could do a better job. But sometimes you have to keep doing it quickly. And that's what I'm doing right now. Doing it quickly. Because time goes really quick. Okay, while this dry, I'm gonna do the other part. Great. Okay, now comes the other fun part. This is filtered curcumin. Curcumin is absolutely fantastic, and filter and I use a filter and unfiltered also because sometimes it doesn't stick too well. But I'm using like a wetting to wet, and this is really sick. I'm doing my line over here, my horizon line. And I'm gonna do my zone. They have like a little halo.
Is that turmeric, right?
Turmeric, yeah. And I'm taking the bottom, which is more thick to do the clouds. Okay. My son is telling me that I'm out of camera. Can you see it now? Okay. And to make different tones, I just go and dilute it a little bit with water because if you saw there is 3 different or 4 different shades of yellow. Not too much. See, I have a beautiful, very light colors over here. And this is what I was frightened last night. If I do that, it will bleed, and it's bleeding right now, but I'm going to fix it. Because sometimes the sea could be a little bit green. What I did now, and I did first all of these and later on the green portion and also and it's bleeding right now. I'm sorry, but I didn't experiment this one before, but I could fix it. At least it's going to be a little bit more presentable after I finish.
No need to apologize.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, for the sail, I'm gonna use another brush because I'm seeing right now, that's why I left this part with just the sketching with the pencil because I was frightened that this is gonna happen, and it did happen. Waiting to wet, sometimes you have to kind of be careful with that. If it's green over here, I'm gonna put a little bit of green over here too. And that way it won't be so bad.
Not bad, it looks awesome.
Thank you. Okay, let me just use the other one, the other brushes, smaller. And we're gonna go, oh, let me do the other side, the clouds on the other side.
Can you pull it down a little bit so they can see the fibers?
Just a little off. Come back a little bit.
Right there?
Yeah, more.
Okay. My son put some boundaries over here, but you guys let me know. Okay, this gonna be two different shades of yellow, and I'm gonna do it lighter over here, a little bit more lighter. And if it is not too light, if it is too much, I have a friend over here that I could use. Let me see if I can find it. Because I have many friends in my I used to speak and I use different things, and I have a little bit of when I filter, I left a little bit over here because at the end it's very nice. It's the bottom of the curcumin that is more intense. Let me find my friend. Well, I didn't find my good friend, but I have another friend over here. I was looking for Q-tips, but I have another friend over here. There's no problem. Sometimes when you're improvising, you have to use medicine. Sometimes I don't have rules and I use the edges of the, to do a line, and medicine could be helpful. The bottom of this could be the sun. If you make a big sun, or the smaller one, make a smaller one. Medicine could be used for when you're doing these out of the box. You could use medicine. They help. And now I'm going to use the bottom of this is one of the best that I have, because I'm very detailful. And the double six brush is my best friend. And I do that for many things. And you will see how I do this.
Can you pull it down a little bit more?
A little more.
Okay, I'm using the lighter color over here. And this one is, the Q-tip will work better, but this one is, if you don't find the Q-tip, this one is good too.
Pull down just a little bit more and then show that last demonstration. You go a little bit further. And now do it.
Okay.
So you're on camera. There you go.
And to make it a little bit lighter, you could do either the fingers or these again, and dry the paper. This is the part of the sky that is just is a kind of a sunset, and the sunset is getting lighter in the horizon. And the curcumin, sometimes this one I didn't filter, and it has a little and I just brush it out. And because I don't like that one, it's too not light enough, I'm going to do more bleeding over there, because sometimes you have to do that. I don't know if you guys, when you're painting, if you don't like something, you go back and try to fix it. And that's what I'm doing right now. Because this is supposed to be lighter. Okay, now I'm going to start using my paprika, because the paprika is the soul of this. The paprika is the energy. That's what I'm wearing today, red. I study chromacology, and chromacology is a very interesting science, because colors are vibration, and we have vibration inside of us. And if you guys are moody and down and all of that, wear red. And if you need energy, wear red. If you are kind of a too much energetic, use blue, or very pale, very, very pale yellow. And if you want to be healed because you're sick, purple. Purple is a healing color, and green. Green, this kind of green.
You're gonna use capture two for it or just Paprika?
This is just, I haven't used the catcher yet. You will see. I'm gonna use it in a few minutes. Let me just bleed a little bit my sky over here.
When you apply it, what are you applying it with? What are you applying? Oh, with like paper towel?
Paper towel.
Oh, okay.
You could use brush, paper towel, or Kleenex or whatever. I like to do, if I do a big thing like this, I sometimes use this one too.
Yeah.
But today I was frightened that this is going to happen, and it's happening. But well, let's work it out, my paprika now. Okay, my paprika. I bought a new class, uh, a new brand of paprika, which is more red. But sometimes I have to mix them up with a little bit of ketchup. And I thought that this paprika would be better, but it's not working. Let's just use it over here.
So this is a ketchup and Paprika together?
Ketchup and paprika together, yes. Because this is a sunset, I'm going to use the sunset over here. A little bit more intense. I filtered too much the paprika, and I shouldn't done that, but well, it's part of the learning process that I have also to do.
Oh, it's cool.
It's cool?
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that it's cool for you guys. I am a perfectionist, and if I don't have what I wanted to do, it makes me feel very uncomfortable. But
Well, you improvise. It looks good.
okay, I'm going to help a little bit the paprika. And I'm going to use a little bit of acrylic. I have another brand of paprika that is not better, but I couldn't find it for this. Sometime in the market they don't have a special. I have to go to special stores to get it. I'm helping my paprika with a little bit of red because this one is not the brand that I wanted to have, but I couldn't find it. I have a better one in there. And I'm gonna mix them up with a little bit of jello over here with the curcumin.
I'll find this, and this is just paprika now?
No, this is a mix of curcumin, paprika, and acrylic.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I wanted to do the effect of the very intense red, and I'm going to see if I could bleed it. What I'm doing right now is mixing the paprika with the curcumin to have a halo, a little bit more look like a halo. It's very diluted paprika. I have to find my, because this is not a watercolor paper, it's an acrylic paper. It's giving me a hard time, but I'm going to try to keep doing it, and we'll see what happens. I'm doing again paprika to do the reflection over here, and I have to be careful we don't bleed the mastic of the. Okay.
Oh, can you bump it up a little bit?
Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, now I had to go for my initial paprika that I dilute. I filtered with a coffee filter because I wanted to have a more intense color. And this is going to be fun too. You will see. And I shouldn't have watercolor paper, but well, we'll try.
Are you using a coffee filter with all the spices?
I going to experiment with because I use a lot of we Cuban, we don't eat chili like Mexican. We eat Mediterranean, but we do a lot of oregano, bay leaf, and thyme, and all of that. I'm gonna keep experimenting with that one because I haven't tried that one yet. But now that I am in this boat, I got to keep going because I think it's fun.
The question was, Mama, are you using a filter to filter all of the colors?
Some of them, yes. Some of them I use a filter. If I wanted to have a diluted one, I had to filter. And if it has any grind, for when I grind the coffee, sometimes I don't grind it too thin because I want more strong coffee. I do filter, yes.
Do you make the coffee through like a traditional coffee machine or espresso, or do you just mix water with it, or just? How do you-
Well, I have 3 different kind of coffee that I drink. I have Cuban coffee, which is a special it's a special coffee pot. I drink American also. Here I'm gonna do it very softly because it bleeds.
She uses a percolator.
And I use a percolator, yes.
My wife is from Miami.
I hope you guys having fun with this because I do.
Not wait to try it, that's all.
She hasn't mentioned it yet, but she also uses instant coffee, which gives you a very dark color.
Oh, yeah?
Like the Cuban instant coffee?
No, just instant coffee. Regular instant.
Regular inter coffee, yeah.
Oh, do you eat vegetables and such, like beets and things like that?
Beets, yes.
Yeah.
Beet, they have a beautiful color. Beet, I have a little bit of beet over here that I'm going to use. I brought some because sunset could be mix them up with other colors. Sunsets are sometimes a little bit purplish. I do that too.
Have you ever tried blueberries or strawberries?
Blueberry, yes. Strawberry, no. But it's blueberry. Blueberry gave a, and it is raspberry. It's even better color. I encourage you guys to do experimentation because it's sometimes maybe the public will be more interested in buying if you see that it's something unusual. That's what I began to do this.
That makes a nice brown on the edge of the shore there where your yellow went into the coffee ground. So it's
Mhm.
nice.
I don't like this color over here. I'm going to try to see if I could fix it. But I'm going to use a little bit more to delineate the clouds. Give it a little bit more.
Bet you could get a good color with some purple cabbage.
I never had too much.
That's a good idea.
It might be a good idea, but I haven't checked. I haven't checked the cabbage yet.
Yeah, you have to figure that one out.
Run it through a juicer.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you have any paintings you've had for, that you did maybe 20, 15, 10 years ago?
I've been painting since I was 5 years old.
The reason I asked, folk are, they've always used, like from the beginning.
Can you do me a favor? Can you, okay, take your mask.
With folk art, they've always used unusual, painting techniques from the beginning, so they use mud and things, but over time, the value went down because a lot of that stuff wasn't long-term, like cornbread, he was a, famous folk artist and stuff, so I didn't know if you ever, over 10 years, you'll really see, so I didn't know if you had. Yeah.
I wonder if, you have that varnish for your acrylics, I wonder if you can use that to seal the color.
So have the paintings faded much over time? Do they fade very much over time?
Not too much this one. Sometimes when it fades is when I use watercolor for real, the real watercolor. I have a watercolor scene that I do in my studio I have a studio that is in the patio and we have glasses all over and the watercolor have faded, but it's real watercolor paint. This one, I don't know.
I think the answer is if it's in direct sunlight, it starts to fade.
Yeah,
It could be.
it's inevitable.
Okay, I'm gonna use a little bit more of ketchup again. Now that this one is green, then dry, I could just get off the. It looks like it's messy, but it's not so messy. It's not so bad. I'm gonna do an experiment today that I never been doing before. Let's see how it goes. Because this is beets. And I need a stronger color over here. Perfect. This one works better.
What are you using now?
Beets.
Oh, okay.
I have to let it dry.
Read all those jars. Both.
Do you have to refrigerate the jars, Mom?
Uh,
All
Do
that.
you have to refrigerate the jars?
Will it?
no, I don't think so.
No problem.
No, I don't think there's any problem with that. But when I did the lining, in that one, I never, I used the ink after that. That's why it's bleeding right now, and I hated it. That means if you do this kind of thing, don't do the outlining with ink after. Do it after, not before.
You have a comment online, Mom. So the comment is from Kathy. She says, pretty colors using nothing but natural products. Awesome.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna mix my beet with the ketchup again. And the paprika.
Yeah, I was thinking about wheatgrass.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
Very good. I would give you green.
I mean, she doesn't have any stuff on the brain. I was thinking.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna use a combination of yellows that right now, the stronger and the light one. Now I find out that I should have brought my watercolor paper instead of the acrylic paper, but it's okay. I'm going to try to have the same result. Anyway, this is for fun. Okay. I have to remember what I did with this one.
Well, how about blue? What do you use for blue?
Okay. What was the question?
How would you do blue? Blue.
Blue? Well,
Blueberries.
right now I'm trying to find a good blue, but right now I'm using acrylic for that. But there is blue. If I could find the medication that I used to do in Cuba, it has a beautiful. It has 3 shades of blue that is delicious, beautiful, and it's a medication for the amygdalitis. It's really good. But maybe I could find something. There is another one that they use in Cuba for bleaching the clothing. That it is you know that azul, yeah. That one is
Blueberry.
used for laundry. It have a beautiful color.
What about blueberries?
Blueberry might be good too. Yeah, but I haven't checked. I haven't done that yet. I had to let it dry for a little bit, but I'm going to do my
You're gonna paint at the top, slide it back.
okay. Let me know when.
Are you painting the top or what?
I'm painting the clouds, yeah,
Yeah, slide back.
Back.
Slide
Back?
Back, further, right there.
right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay, I'm using now a combination of paprika, beets, and ketchup for the clouds. When it's not helping, it's a paper. That one is a watercolor paper. Oh, that's the color that I need. Good. fingers is good too. Why not? It's different when you paint in my studio. When I paint in my studio that I have music and all of that, um, and to be painting with so many people watching me is kind of a different also, but I try to do my best. It's not going in the way that I wanted it to have.
That's okay, don't rush, I mean, don't rush.
Oh, thank you.
We could all see.
Oh, good.
Oh. It looks beautiful.
Some of us.
Okay.
Do you
Well-
always paint something up, with a flat table, or do you normally have like a drafting table that's tilted?
Yeah, it's much better when the tilted table also. Okay, I'm going to start doing more detail, but I'm very fussy. I'm very fussy with myself because when I don't find, when I cannot do what I wanted to do, it make me think what I should do to better myself, and that's the problem that I have. But I always try to be
Have you thought about like taking the napkin and dabbing this napkin? That will give you.
I had done that too. Yeah, dabbing with the napkin. Yeah, I had done that. But in this case, the because it's acrylic paint, it's not working. The paper is not helping. But we'll do it best. Next time now I know that I cannot use for this one. I had to use the real watercolor paper. Okay, I'm gonna do some detail over here and try to finish the. Yeah, the watercolor paper, it helps more. I'm gonna do my coffee again.
Need to push your pad up again.
Yeah,
So in other words, Mom, slide it forward so it's in the camera. There you go.
right there,
That's it.
right there. Okay.
So there's like several layers of it to give you a dark.
I layer the color to get the ground form. Because it's a rugged coastal. What I discovered is that watercolor paper works better with acrylic than the acrylic paper with this. It is more absorbent. Each medium that you use is totally different. This one is a totally different medium. I'm trying to do wetting to wet, but sometimes the paper doesn't help, but in layers it does help.
We have
Okay.
Another comment online, Mom, from Nanda. She says, amazing the use of coffee, spices, and juices. Would have never thought of doing that.
Thank you, Amanda. Okay. That's why I do this to encourage people to do out of the box thing. Why not? we are conditioned to do things by the rule. We are conditioned to do things that it is inclined to be following directions most of the time. But one day, the heck with it. Let's just follow the rules and do whatever you want. Why not? That's the fun of this. Okay, I'm going to use a combination of acrylic now to do the outlining. And I have a very nice brown acrylic over here. I want to do this online. That's why I'm looking for somebody who could help me with my cameras, because my son is taking time today, which I thank him a lot, taking time today from his demanding job to help me with the camera. But I would like to do this like I did it in 2020. I won an award from the Fulton County because because I am an ordained minister and I am also a counselor. I use art as take people out of the fear that it was with the COVID-19 situation and all the problem that people have, not only with the fear, with the uncertainties that we went all over, all of us. And I submit a project. I submit and they grant me $10,000 for doing online a series of 12 paintings, and not only showing how to paint with acrylics, but also encouraging people to think that this was a transitory thing, that everything is going to be okay. And no matter what people thought about this scary situation that so many people die and all that, put people in so much fear. And there is no more problem that fear itself, because sometimes we tend to be more fearful than it should be. And it was a success. I have 537 followers in YouTube and Facebook, and I have 80 local artists, students that took advantage of all the messages that I did, because I did with the purpose of being more positive, being more assertive, and thinking any kind of catastrophe has a resolution also. And that was a catastrophe for many people, because even me, I lose members of my family, and it was very tragic for everybody. But sometimes you could change the tragic into a more understanding way, that sometimes life put us in situations that we could just be looking forward for the future, instead to be down and be pessimistic and be thinking that everything was bad. In COVID-19 was a lesson for all of us to cope with that and to succeed and to bring over resources that we have within us that we didn't know that we have it. Many of us lost their jobs. Many of us, he lost he's a very dear friend, and he lost his business. I lose my business also. And because the entrepreneurial people who are small, when it's a situation like this one, bigger company also went down. That means it was a big catastrophe. But if we're going to think that everything is going to be bad, we never get out of there neither. We have to think that it's always hope, that it's always optimism that we could use, always seeing that could change. And it did change. This year has been a total different than the last 2 years, but also there is a remnants of that circumstances, because many people are suffering right now. Other thing, there is an extremely big amount of anxieties. And I have one of my, because I am a counselor, I have one of my clients having panic attacks and all of that. And if the person should think that every single catastrophe is always something that we learn from, every single situation in life If we see it as a learning process instead to see it as a catastrophe, we get out of there because we have resources within us to help us to get out of there. But if we're going to be moping and pessimistic all the time, we never get out of there neither. And I use art as a therapy because art has been a therapy for myself. I have.
Art is a greatest therapy.
It is a wonderful therapy. Absolutely.
Can I ask, I was outside, what did you use for black though?
In here,
Uh-huh.
I used markers, but I saw that I used the marker in there after I finished the painting, when the painting was dry. That's why I was afraid to keep using it right now because it's bleeding. But if you're going to do something like this, do the outlining in black, do it after it's dry. In that way, avoid the bleeding. There is something that we always learn with whatever we do.
Did you use the beet?
The beets, I mix them up with ketchup and paprika because the paprika, this brand is not so intense red that I wanted it to have, and I mix them all, the three of them, to have a more defined red. Uh, Even though it's not so red like I wanted it, and I'm going to dilute a little bit of acrylic and do the rest. But I'm doing a little bit of acrylic diluted, and I'm diluting it with a little bit of because sometimes the coastline, when it's like this, that is a sunset, you could have a little yellow on it to make it more interesting.
That looks great, looks so like green, doesn't it?
Yeah, the coffee really builds up nicely in layers.
And it smells good. Coffee have a heck of a good color in brown. I love it. I mix them up with a little bit of curcumin. In that way, we have like a sunset reflecting in the ground also. Okay, I'm going to do some outlining in the water. Let me see what I did before. Because sometimes I forget what I do before. Okay, got it.
You have another comment online from your niece, Sudi.
Oh, okay.
She said, looking good, Tia.
Thank you, Sudi. Is Papito there with her?
I don't know. Didn't say.
Papito is my brother. He just recovered from a cancer. I'm going very softly over here to avoid it bleeding. But the bleeding could help because I'm gonna make the cords a little bit thicker, and that way it will be not so bad. I'm going to do now this part over here and the rest of the boat.
Slide it back towards you if you're gonna paint the top.
Huh?
Slide the painting back towards you if you're gonna paint it.
Okay. Now I'm doing something that the bleeding is going to help me to put this part over here a little bit more darker, that it looks like it's more normal. I'm bleeding intentionally to do the rest of the sea over here. I could fix that later.
Well, this is like on the side, you cannot slide it, right? If the camera is in the way, right?
Well,
Slide.
it's okay.
I think there is a camera stand there. You can see
Yeah.
to the left.
It's okay. I learned how to manage with whatever problems they might be around. I don't know you guys, but when I am inspired, sometimes I'm a night owl, because when I'm inspired, I don't mind to spend the whole night painting and don't sleep. I just sleep the next day if I can. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of helping over here with acrylic.
We have about 15 more minutes before the art center closes.
Okay.
So we love everything that you've shown us. And thank you so much for doing this for us.
Okay.
But we're gonna, you know,
I could wrap it.
Show us your acrylics and then we're gonna have to cut out your starry.
I wrap it up. I wrap it up. Can I have 5 minutes?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, 15 minutes is
But-
plenty. No
But we need to
problem.
clean up, we need to clean up your stuff for you
Fine.
too.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit of the rocks over there and the palm, this could be a palm tree or a coconut tree, either one, because they are similar. In this case, it's coconut. But I get to do the reef over here that is with gray. And
Mom, if I can make a suggestion, when you're done, if you could put the finished painting underneath the camera,
yeah,
that would be good.
yeah, I would do that. Okay.
You mean the one that's matte?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's.
15 minutes is plenty time, no problem.
5.
You're 5.
Yeah, okay.
5.
Oh, 5?
I guess we
Bye.
need 10 minutes for cleanup.
5?
I'm gonna take a picture of you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You have
No
5.
problem.
You have 4 now.
Come on, Dave. Oh, we love you, we love you, we love you.
Okay. No problem. My student used to call me Mrs. No Problem because I repeat that a lot, but now I'm becoming Mrs. Sunshine. After No Problem is Mrs. Sunshine.
That's great.
Yeah, one of my books is titled that way. How I become Mrs. Sunshine after being Mrs. No Problem. Okay, I'm gonna do my rocks over here.
What did you make? Just acrylic?
Okay, I'm mixing acrylic with a little bit of blue and a little bit of white and a little bit of gray, making gray.
Can you slide it just a little bit under the camera?
Okay. Quick pick it up. The good thing is with the brushes, the Chinese brushes, that no matter how much you mistreat them, they came out good. They come back again. I used to spend a lot of money with expensive brushes, and Chinese brushes are cheap and they are absolutely fabulous.
One minute, Mom.
This is a very rugged cliff.
And Mom, you're out of time.
Okay.
So put the finished product over the camera.
Just, you might want to remove it so she doesn't get that one.
Right.
Okay, go ahead and put it. Okay,
We're gonna slide this one out of the way. And we're gonna put the finished product in.
Wow. Amazing.
well, thank you very much to the one who is remain over here. I really appreciate it. When I get enthusiastic, I forget the time, I forget everything. And this is,
This is excellent. It's so unusual. It's intriguing.
well, I encourage you guys to be daring like I am and experiment on their own because maybe you discover something that I haven't.
No,
Yeah.
that's
And that would be great for all of us.
smile hope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you